Want a soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle. But you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and how to make it 180-degree turn in your life. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Focus on the effort, not the result.
Everything in your life changes when you learn to tie your self-worth to your effort instead of the results. Most people tie their self-worth to the results, to winning. You only feel good about yourself when you win. If that's how you think, then you're screwed. Because that person only takes on projects that you know you have a pretty high chance of winning at. And therefore, you play small for life. The key is to tie your self-worth to the effort, to trying. And if you do that well, you'll win beyond your wildest imaginations. So let's use me as an example. Look at this video right here, this video. 2 minutes before getting on and making this video, I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. I'm trying to find a reason why I don't have to do this video. Now why? I've done 6,000 of these videos. Do I not love it anymore? No, that's not it. I love doing it. So why am I afraid? Who cares? I've done 6,000. The answer is because I don't want to make it the same way that I've done the past 6,000. I want to push harder. I want to push and do something new. If I was just doing what I've already done, then it'd be easy. Right? If you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it becomes easy, but then you get bored. You start to hate your life. You start realizing that everything is just a photocopy over and over and over and over and over again. And so, how do I push through? I put this pressure on myself to say this video right now has to be the best video that I've ever made. That's my intention going in to every time I'm filming. Most days I don't accomplish it. When you're trying something new and scary and bigger and bolder, most of the time you won't get it. You fail a lot. But I tie my self-worth, my respect, to the effort I'm trying. And every now and then, you'll make a bit of a breakthrough. You get a bit of a win. And then those accumulate. And then you get another one, and another win, and another win. And so the answer isn't have a big goal and then find a reason why you can't do it. The answer isn't dream big and then convince yourself of some logical excuse for why you're not going to take action. The answer is to push through. The answer is you're scared and you're going to do it anyway. The answer for me is I'm going to make another video. I'm going to try and push myself harder. And I think that's what achievers do, because achievers are failing more than you. Because most days I get up and fail. Most days I'm just failing. It's another failure, another failure, another failure. But the more you fail, the more you're eventually going to win. I'm going to get massive results. Because you tie your self-worth to your ability to get up and try again, and try again, and try again, and pat yourself on the back for the effort you're putting in, not just when you're winning. So how do you do it? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is what I call the pillow test. This is my actual pillow that when I'm in Toronto, I sleep on every single night. And the pillow test is make yourself proud before you hit your head on the pillow. Right? Before you go to sleep tonight, before your head hits your pillow, you ask yourself, am I proud of my effort today? Not how much did I win? Not did I get the results I was looking for? Not did I get my 1,000,000 views or close that big sale? Are you proud of your effort? Are you proud of your effort? Can you put your head on your pillow tonight and say, man, I am proud of the effort that I put in? That's the test. That's the test for tonight. That's your test for tomorrow night, and the night after that, and the night after that, and the night after that. And the more that you get a yes, to say, yeah, heck yeah, I'm proud of my effort. You do that, you watch your business explode. Step number 2 is expect to suck at the start. Anytime you're trying something new, expect to suck. Don't expect to just try something new and it's amazing. This is where a lot of people fall down. You've had some success, you're at a certain level, you're going to try something new. Before you go up, you're probably going to go down. That's part of the experimentation process. It doesn't mean you suck as a human. It just means that you don't have the skill sets, the talents yet. You're trying something new. I haven't brought props in on my videos before. That was a new test. I expect it to suck. Maybe on an off chance it works. Amazing, I learned from it. But when you're trying something, it's brand new, you don't have the confidence in it yet, you're still figuring out the path, expect to suck. When you put so much of your worth into expecting to be great the first time out, here's what happens. You try one thing, you record one video, you watch it back, say, man, that sucked, and then you never make a video again. Meanwhile, if you just kept doing it, you would eventually be awesome. You would eventually crush it. Go back and watch my first videos. Go back to my main channel. Go back to the beginning, see where I started. I've kept them all up so you can see the journey, the progress of how much I sucked at the very beginning. It took me 350 videos until I wasn't embarrassed by my content. I was so embarrassed I couldn't watch it back. 350 videos, but I kept going. The problem is people are quitting on things too soon. You quit on something too soon because you're not getting immediate results. Expect to suck. It doesn't mean that you suck as a human. It just means you don't have the skills yet. How do you get the skills? By practicing. And number 3 is ask yourself, what would the most bold version of you do? I got this question when I was talking to my video guy, Danny, who came to me with a really important personal problem in his life at the time. And I said, what would the most bold version of you do? It just came out. Man, I love that. And anytime he doesn't know what to do, he asks himself that question. What would the most bold version of me do? It's a great question because it allows you to push through a lot of your fears, a lot of your insecurities, to force yourself to be bold. And you want to be bold. You're meant to be bold. You're meant to create amazing, wonderful things. You want that big vision of yours to come true. You are bold. You are courageous. But we don't live in that land very often. And so if you ask that question, what would the most bold version of you do today? What it does is wash away a lot of those fears and insecurities and gives you the answer that you're actually looking for.
Rule number 2, do difficult things.
Self-esteem comes from doing difficult things. You set a goal, you said you'd start doing something, and maybe even you do actually start doing that thing. But then you hit a roadblock. Then it gets difficult, it gets hard, and what you do in that moment will define the rest of your life. When it's hard, when it's difficult, do you rise to the occasion? Or do you let yourself off again, finding some really logical reason why you can't do that thing? It doesn't count until it's hard. You don't grow until it's hard. You don't build self-respect, self-esteem, self-confidence until it's hard and you follow through. I keep these in my office as a reminder of who I am in my best moments, my best self, to push me to do more and to push harder. What are these? If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Evan. I went on a tour at the beginning of this year. I did a tour, 23 cities, 90 days, and 2/3 of the way through, with a month left, I broke my neck. When I was in Denver, I fainted, I fell out of a chair, I hit my head against a wall, cracked the back of my head open, I had 3 staples on my head, I had a concussion, and I broke my neck in 2 spots. And after that night, I had to wear this. I had to wear this for the next, oh, I just noticed this note here. Nina signed it. I love you. Get well soon, Nina. She signed it. That's sweet. Aw, gotta go thank her. Anyway, had a little emotional moment there. I broke my neck and I decided to keep going on my tour. I had a month left. Everybody was telling me to go home. My agent told me to go home. My friends, my family said, come home, get the healthcare you need, relax, stay in bed, rest, you need to recover. And I said, being with entrepreneurs is my recovery. And pushing through and doing this tour is my healing. One, physical healing, because just sitting on the bed all day is not going to be, for someone like me, something that's amazing. But 2, just pushing through and knowing that I can, right? It doesn't count until it's hard. It doesn't count until it's difficult, and then you get up and you do it. And so if you've seen any of the videos or pictures of me at the events, I went from standing up and moving around and having energy to then I had to sit at the front of a room with pillows behind me and an ice pack on my shoulder blade for 3.5, 4 hours in massive pain the whole time, answering questions and doing my workshop. And I was so proud of myself for doing it. That's how I built my self-esteem, by getting up and doing it, by showing up. And it inspired the people who came out. They're saying, well, I lived 25 minutes away, didn't know if I wanted to make the drive, commit to it, I was kind of tired. And then I saw you with your broken neck still showing up, so I had to show up too, right? But that's not why I did it. I did it for me. I did it for myself. I had to wear this all day, all night long. This was my first one, and then it started to break, so Nina put some duct tape on it here. And then this was my second one that once it started to really wind down, I couldn't wear it anymore. I went for this one. And 10 minutes a day is all I could do to take it off for a shower. So I had to sleep in this. I had to do my workshop in this. Everything. 23 hours and 50 minutes a day, except for a 10-minute break in the shower where I took it off and was paranoid about moving anything because my neck was broken. I had to keep it stabilized. I wore these. This reminds me of how strong I am. So big shout out to Mark Drager, friend of the channel, who said, hey, you should keep those as souvenirs, as mementos. And I'm not a super sentimental guy, so I don't usually do that, but I did. I kept them both, and I keep them on my shelf down there behind me, so when I walk in to the office, it reminds me of how strong I am. Doing the workshop tour was already a stretch because it was a paid tour that I was afraid to do, and disappointing people is my number one fear. And so getting up every 3-4 days and having a chance to face my fear again was already a big stretch for me. But then doing that last month with my broken neck just upped the ante, up my level, up the challenge. And so when it gets hard, this is it, this is the example. When it gets hard, when everybody tells you, just back off, don't worry about it. Even when there's that voice inside your head that says, is that a little too much? You know, you could just sleep, you could just relax, you've earned it. What's gonna make you proud? And at the end of the day, this is the only thing that you could judge for yourself. I would not have been proud of myself if I left the tour. I would have had a lot of good reasons to do it. I wouldn't have felt proud of myself. And so I had to keep going. That's what made me proud. That's what got me through on the other side. And it took me to another level. It doesn't count until it's hard. You will be challenged. You'll be faced with difficulties. You will have every reason in the world to slow down, to stop, to quit. What's gonna make you proud? Go do that thing. There's a 3-step process I wanna walk you through that I think will help. Let's dive in. Step number 1 is you tell yourself you do difficult things. I want to develop that identity for myself, and I want it for you. You do difficult things. You love difficult things. What's the reason why you're not doing the thing that you want to do? Go look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I not doing the thing that I said I was going to do? If the answer comes back that it's difficult, it's not an acceptable answer. It's hard is not an acceptable answer. You love doing hard things. You only want to do hard, difficult things. What's the alternative? Easy? You want easy all day long? You can get it. It's easy. You want easy? Anybody can live easy. It just means you do the same thing over and over and over again. You photocopy yesterday and the day before and the day before. You photocopy your life every day. You can live like you did yesterday and the day before for the rest of your life. Just doing the same thing, waking up, going to a job that you hate, doing that that's easy. You don't like it because humans are built to grow. You want to grow. You want progress. You want to be learning. And that comes by doing difficult things. You love difficult things. If you don't have something in your calendar that is difficult in the next week, you don't like your life. And so watch your language. Watch how you're speaking out to people and you're explaining things, but also just to yourself, what you think about. Oh, but it's so hard. Nope. You do hard things. You love hard things. Ask the people around you to catch it. Anytime you say something is difficult or hard, catch it. Tell me. Throw water on my face. Let me know. And then go and do that thing. And then watch your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-respect skyrocket. Number 2 is use regret to fuel you. You very rarely regret the things that you have done. You regret the things not done. You regret the things that you wanted to do, that you should have done, that you wanted to take your shot at it, but you're just afraid. You're just afraid. It's normal. It's human nature. We're afraid. We're afraid of the new. But you want to do that thing. And so I don't recommend using past regrets that much because you can't change the past, but future ones. This thing that you want to do, imagine that you never do it. This thing that you have, this idea in your head of you speaking on stage or making videos or launching that product or winning that award, whatever the thing is that's in your head, you never do it. It never happens because you're afraid. You never take that step because you're afraid. You never make that phone call because you're afraid. You never send that email, record that video, press that red button. You never do it because you're afraid. You're afraid, you're afraid, you're afraid, you're afraid. You never take action because you're afraid. Now what? Now you're 85 years old and you haven't done anything. And just feel how hard that hurts. Feel it. That sucks. And what it does is bring all that pain and fear of the next X number of decades into today's moment to force you into action. because you have to do that thing. You want to do that thing. It's better to know and to fail than to not know. You don't want to live your whole life not knowing. So use the future fear of regret to push you into immediate action. And number 3 is tell yourself it's the best. If you hang around me long enough, you'll start saying it. It's the best. And I use it as a trigger that anytime there's something negative happening around me, from a big thing to a small thing, you rewire yourself to say, this is the best. This is the best. This is my chance to show myself and the world what I'm made of. This is the best. Whatever problem's in front of you, even yesterday, I was making coffee, bulletproof coffee. You have to put coffee in a blender with milk or butter and MCT oil. And if you want some collagen, you throw it in there, you turn the blender on, and it goes. When I do cream, I just keep the blender on low because you don't have to blend it that much. And I don't have a cap on. But for whatever reason, I turned the thing on, and for the first time ever, the whole machine exploded on me. Coffee everywhere, all over the countertop, all over the floor, all over the cabinets. Coffee is everywhere. It's part of my morning routine. Now I'm behind. Now I gotta clean this mess up. I'm behind. I'm gonna fall behind on everything else I need to do. It's the best. This is the best. This is the best. Because what's the alternative? Just complain about it? If you believe, like I believe, that your purpose comes from your pain, that negative thing that happened to you, even in the biggest sense, I'm just talking about coffee, who cares? But the big things that are negative to happen to you are actually the best too. Because you get defined by it either way. Those challenges that get thrown in front of your face, you get defined by it either way. Either you then take on the identity that you can't handle difficult things and you succumb and you become negative and complain and drag other people down with you, or you take the approach that this negative thing that happened is the best and I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to grow from it and then I'm going to make sure that nobody else on the planet ever has to go through that crazy, scary, impossible, painful thing that you went through. That's why I love helping entrepreneurs, because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur myself. I want to try to make the path a little bit easier for you compared to what I had to go through. So it's the best. So try to catch it. Try to teach yourself. Whenever you get faced with a negative situation, no matter how big or small, just tell yourself, this thing right here is the best.
Rule number 3, make sacrifices.
There will be moments in your business where you will need to have superhuman strength to keep going, where it just demands everything from you, every single ounce that you have. But if you need to have superhuman energy every single day, you're gonna burn out and fail. So whenever I want to try something new, when I'm testing something new, I always eat into some of my reserves. It may mean to go off and do this new project, I'm going to sleep less or spend a little bit less time working on my book or a little less time working on my YouTube channel, right? You eat into these reserves. But that's not sustainable. If that's what you're doing constantly, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to burn out. You're going to fail. So quick example. Sadhguru came to Toronto. Sadhguru, if you don't know, he's a yogi. He's an Indian mystic. We did a top 10 on him. He then invited me to come to his event in Toronto and then do a one-on-one interview with him close to the Toronto airport, the island. It was amazing, great time. Out of that, he says, Evan, I want you to come to my multi-day event in the US. I want you to come, be a VIP guest there. It'd be amazing to have you. Awesome. But before you do that, you have to do my 7-day program where you have to meditate every day for 7 days. And I think it's an hour plus every day. I didn't have an hour a day. Right? I mean, that's not part of what I had in my calendar. Every hour in my calendar is accounted for. It doesn't mean I'm working all that time, but I might be spending time with my wife. I might be spending time with my son. Every hour is accounted for. And so to do this, I had to eat into some of my reserves. And so for that one, I asked Nina, I said, Nina, if you're going to come with me, you have to do this too. Do we want to spend our hour in the evening, instead of watching a show, instead of relaxing, to do this program for 7 days for meditation? And she said yes. And so here's the thing, we did it for 7 days and we went to the event. It was awesome. If it was something that we were going to continue, if we were going to meditate every day for an hour ongoing, then I'd have to readjust my schedule. Your success comes from your habits. You need to figure out what a balanced life looks like for you. Now, ultimately, I don't meditate an hour every night. I do some healing meditation for my neck every morning, but that habit didn't stick, and that's okay. So when you're testing new habits, testing new ideas, testing something for your business, or some emergency comes up that you have to deal with, it's going to tap into your reserves. You can't be running your business at full capacity already. You can't be running your business on zero, on empty, because that means there's no extra gear. That means that when life punches you in the face, you can't handle it. That means if you want to try or taste or test something else, you can't do it because you have no reserves, you have no battery, there's no more gas in the tank. And so that's where a lot of entrepreneurs live. That's where it's really troublesome. That's where a lot of entrepreneurs will end up burning out, failing, and crushing their dreams because you're just running with no gas left in the tank. And so you can stretch yourself. I think that's normal. I think that's okay. I think life will hit you in the face. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, here comes another punch. That will happen. But it's making sure that you can live that balanced life, whatever balance looks like for you. So how do you handle these things when they come up? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is tell yourself it's the best. When life punches you in the face, when you get some crisis that happens, I try to run a no crisis business, but that is not always possible. Stuff will still happen, and if it's not in your business life, it'll happen in your personal life. When life punches you in the face and you can't get out of it and you have to address it, you have to deal with it, instead of living in the land of negativity and complaining and why me and despair and desperation, I flip it. I complain for 8.5 seconds and then say, this is the best. It's the best. This is the best thing ever. Because what it does is it puts you in a state of resourcefulness. It puts you in a place where you can then go and solve the problem. So I'm going to meditate for an hour a night. This is the best, right? I'm sitting next to the smelly dude on the airplane. It's the best. Because what's the alternative? You're stuck next to the smelly guy on the airplane. What's the alternative? The alternative is you sit on the plane and you're upset and you freak out and you complain and you're negative and grumpy and unhappy. And that's not going to allow you to create beautiful, amazing things for your business or your life. So when you're forced into that situation, when life hits you by surprise, tell yourself this is the best. This is your chance to prove to yourself and the world what you're actually made of. Step number 2 is if this is an ongoing problem, then you need to fix your life. Right? If it's every single day that this is happening, then you can't tell yourself it's the best every day, because it's the best allows you to tap into those reserves. It allows you to find that extra little bit of juice in the gas tank to keep going and solve this big problem. But if it's every day that you're stressed out to the max, that you're not sleeping, that you have no energy, that you're hating the work that you're doing, you need to fix your life. You can't get up every day and just tell yourself it's the best, because you're going to run out of energy. There's no reserves left. You will fail. You will disappoint yourself. You will just run out. And so you are what you consistently do. You look at your calendar and there's something in there that is broken. You need to fix your life if every day you are stressed out. And then step number 3 is schedule for success. So your habits will dictate your success. Your actions need to map to your ambitions. What balance looks like for you needs to be reflected in your habits. You can say, here's what balance looks like for me, but if you're not living it, you're not going to be happy, and you're going to run out of energy, and you're going to burn out, and you're going to start to hate your life. So what does a balanced life look like for you? How much time do you want to spend with your family, with your significant other, on your business, on yourself, personal development, working out, singing, hobbies, dancing, friends, whatever it is that you want to do? What does a balanced life for you look like? And this is something that only you can judge. What I do, what The Rock does, what Sadhguru does, what Dan Locke does, what anybody that we profile, whatever they do, what Elon Musk does. Don't compare yourself to Elon Musk and his schedule. You can use his schedule as guidance, as an idea, as here's something that somebody is doing that is possible, but maybe that's not for you. You try on the hat and then you see. So you have to decide, what does balance look like for you? And then take out your calendar every day of the week from Sunday to the next Sunday and put everything in. Here's how much time I want to spend on these different activities. Because if you want balance and it looks like this, and then you look at your calendar and it's totally different, you're going to run out of energy and not like your life. Schedule for success.
Rule number 4, own your dreams.
When did you decide that your dreams shouldn't be big? When did you decide that you shouldn't tell anyone else about your dreams? Until you own your dreams and stop making yourself feel small, those dreams will never happen. Never. Now, this is something everybody struggles with. Everybody. Myself, Mel, everybody. We're worried about playing a bigger game. We're worried about thinking bigger for ourselves, and we're worried about telling other people, because what if it doesn't work out? What if we don't make it? What's that judgment going to come? How are they going to think about us? And so I think about my own story, what I'm trying to create. The biggest fight that I used to get into with my agent, Steve, was he says, Evan, you need to be a household name. You need to be famous. Like, Steve, I don't want to be famous. I equated famous to ego. If you're famous and you're this big egomaniac, I don't want to be an egomaniac. It's not about me. It's about spreading belief. I'm nervous getting in front of the camera. Even before filming this video, I'm nervous. Like, I wanted to do well. The lights come on. I don't crave it. I don't crave attention. I'm an introvert. I like just doing my thing. Evan, you need to get famous. Why, Steve? Why do we need to get famous? And for maybe 2 years, we fought over this. because I kept equating fame with ego, and I looked at the people who were famous and like, I don't want to be like them. And there's a lot that they did that bothered me, and I wanted to do it a different way. And that's the key. It's finding the different way to do it. How does an introvert on a mission become famous? I don't know. We're gonna go on this journey together and hopefully find out. What finally clicked for me was him saying, when you get famous, your mission will spread. If you start tying actions to mission, that's how you get me to move. For other people, it might be, hey, I'll give you all this money if you do this, or you'll have the fame or credibility, or have statues built. I don't need statues built of me. But as soon as you tie it to mission and service, that gets me going. So he said, if you actually want to fulfill your mission, if you say you want to spread belief, then you need to get famous. Because the more people know about you, the more people will hear your message. And it finally stuck. Like, okay, I got to do it. I don't know how to do it. I've never tried to do it. I've always wanted to be behind the spotlight. And so now this is part of my mission. I need to become a household name and get famous so that more people can believe in themselves. If I actually want to solve the world's biggest problem, then I need to be out there doing it. I need to believe in myself more. Right? If I'm trying to spread belief, I need to believe in myself more too. And so I think that's a human condition. That's part of what we want to do. You want to step outside your comfort zone. You want to serve. Humans are built to serve. We are built to serve. But service requires helping other people. And because we're afraid of judgment, you don't want to do it. So you've got your foot in the gas and the brake at the same time. You want to help people, but you're worried about their judgment. So you don't do anything. You know you're capable of more. But you don't do it because you're afraid. And so I'm going to give you a 3-step process that really helped me, that's worked for me, that I hope can work for you too, because I want to see that genius that you've got inside you explode out into the world. Step number 1 is believing that you have Michael Jordan level talent. This is something that I say a lot, and it's something that I believe in myself as well. I need to remind myself of it, that I have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are worthy. You are talented. You're a genius. You're amazing. Remember that. And just because you don't see it in where you're at right now doesn't mean that you can't become great. There's a famous quote that I'm probably going to botch by Albert Einstein, who's basically saying that if you try to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you think it's an idiot. And that's what most people are doing. They're fish trying to be forced to climb a tree where you should swim. You can swim, right? You know inside you that you have amazing talent. And it's just believing in that a little bit more, that you can be Michael Jordan at something. Step number 2 is I remind myself of the Quincy Jones rule. And the Quincy Jones rule is one of my favorite clips of all time on my channel, is where he said,
"Not one drop of my self-worth depends on your acceptance of me."
And whenever I'm worried, whenever I'm thinking about how people see this or judge me, I remind myself of that. The Quincy Jones rule. Not 1 ounce of my self-worth, not 1 drop, comes from your acceptance of me. And just having that as a reminder when you're afraid, when you're about to make a video, when you're about to write your book, when you're about to get on stage, or you're about to tell somebody about your idea, when you're at a networking event and somebody asks you what you do and you feel small and you want to play small, just use it in that moment. Remind yourself of the Quincy Jones rule. I'm going to speak my truth, and not 1 ounce of my self-worth comes from your acceptance of me. And then step number 3 is the boom, boom, boom test. And that's where when your heart's going boom, 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 right? Your heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're scared, you're nervous, you're afraid. You have to do it. It's a sign that you're actually on the right path. 98% of the time, right? That 2% is when you're about to jump out of an airplane and you don't have a parachute. Okay, great. Don't do that. That's crazy, right? Don't be stupid. But most of the things you're afraid of is not actually physical harm. We don't live in a society where you're constantly in danger, right? If it's physical harm and danger, okay, maybe you want to take the safer route. But most of the things we're afraid of are judgment, are people's opinions, are expectations. That's what you're really afraid of. And so when you're about to do something and your heart's going like this, or when you're thinking of something, or somebody suggests something to you, hey, what do you think about this? And your heart's going like this, that's a sign to go. That's not a sign to think. That's not a sign to think. When your heart is going boom, 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 the boom, boom, boom test is not a time to think, because you're gonna think your way down from the big idea. Your brain is designed to protect you. It understands the world that currently exists, so it's gonna use logic as to why you should take the safer path. You have to step into it. Even if you fail, even if it doesn't work out, because you want to teach yourself that you do difficult things. And so the next time your heart's going boom, 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 when an idea comes from your own head or from somebody pitching you something, if your heart's going boom, 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 you do it. It's a sign to go.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for the habit to stick. That's what I want for you. So I've designed a custom, free program where I'm going to send you an unlisted video for the next 254 days to shift your confidence and belief forward. The link to join is in the description below. If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
Create an outline and a schedule. What I found really helpful for me was to create an outline at the start.
You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to wake up and look forward to the day that is ahead.
Rule number 5, find your one word.
Nobody wants to work with somebody who doesn't have integrity. But what is integrity? What does that mean for you? How do you find it? How do you know what you stand for? For me, it all comes down to values. When you understand what you stand for as a human being, when you know what your most important core value is, then you know how to live with integrity, and you know how to build a business based around integrity as well. And so the process that I go through is your one word. I wrote a book about it. You can read it, you can pick it up and understand how to apply it to your business and your life. But at the core is figuring out, if I had to stand for one thing as a human being, what is that thing? And so a quick process. Let's go through this quick exercise together. You can pick up the book later. Right now, think about one. Who was your favorite teacher growing up? You've had lots of teachers growing up through high school, university, elementary school. Who was your favorite teacher? It wasn't because they taught you grade 10 math. There was a reason. What was it? Who was the person and what was it? 2, what was your favorite movie growing up? Pick your favorite movie and why. And then 3, who's your favorite entrepreneur? Who's the person that you looked up to the most? Who did you learn the most from? Who do you most want to emulate? If I run through that scenario for myself, number 1, my favorite teacher is Madame Farr growing up at my school, Crescent School. She always believed in me. She always helped me. She always guided me. She helped take me from being a B student to an A+ student in my final year. She made me feel like it was possible. 2, my favorite movie is Seabiscuit. It's about this racehorse that's too small and a jockey that's too big and an owner that has no money and a trainer that's down on his luck. And they all seem to come together to build this racehorse that goes off and wins a whole bunch of races and helps lift the nation based off a true story. I've seen that movie at least 30 times. 3, my favorite entrepreneur is A.P. Giannini. He started Bank of America. He was the guy who first gave immigrants in America money as a loan. He lent money to people based off of a handshake and a look in their eye, if you can imagine. He gave Walt Disney the money to have his first feature-length cartoon, and everybody thought he was crazy. And so what's a common thread through all that? Between Madame Farr, Seabiscuit, A.P. Giannini, they may all seem totally disconnected. They're not. If I had to write down 3 characteristics, this is what you should do. You write down your 3 names, and then you have 3 characteristics for each one. The word believe pops off the sheet for me. I think about all of them, and believe comes out. Madame Farr believed in me. My other teachers are really nice. They really helped me. It was amazing, but she really helped move the needle because she believed in me. Seabiscuit, I've seen lots of movies. I love them all. It's great. But the idea of believe coming through that racehorse, I love it. It's a cheesy movie, but I love it. And then A.P. Giannini is the believe banker. Lent money to people and bet on them when nobody else believed in them. My one word is believe. As a result, I've built my entire business around it, right? My life and my business are built around believe. My videos, my newsletter, my website, my speaking gigs, the books that I write, everything I create, it's not just a strategy, it's a way of living. And that's having integrity with yourself. So why don't I make a top 10 video series on the stupidest things that people say? Because it's anti-belief, because it's negative. My channel would actually be bigger if I did the negative side of things. People would rather be entertained and laugh at others than educate themselves and get better. People would rather sit at home and watch 4 hours of Netflix every night than go off and spend 4 hours learning and try to build a business. They just would. We'd rather be entertained and educated. But I don't want to be in that business. I don't want to be in a negative business. I don't want to be in the hater business because my one word is believe. And so that's having integrity with myself and then integrity with you guys, my audience, my customers, the people that I work with. And so yes, integrity is at the core of everything. If you don't have integrity, people do not want to work with you. But how do you figure out what that means? Of course, you're not going to go lie to somebody, right? Of course, stealing is going to be bad. But what else? How do you get more specific? The biggest problem is lack of clarity. People don't know what they stand for. And as a result, you're living up to other people's expectations and versions, where I want you to live inside yourself. I want you to be standing on a rock when everybody else is standing on quicksand. You have clarity, you have definiteness of purpose, and it starts with figuring out your one word. So you can pick up the book, or you can go through that 3-step process. Think about who your favorite teacher was and why, write 3 words down for it. Think about what your favorite movie is and why, write 3 words down for it. And think about who your favorite entrepreneur or hero is of all time and why, write 3 words down from it. Look at what's similar, your one word will pop off the page, and now you know what integrity means to you.
Rule number 6, never give up.
Paul Newman, the legendary actor, had an amazing quote that I love to repeat. He said, "I check my pulse, and if I can find it, I know I've got a chance." You've got a very important choice to make. You either make the rest of your life the best of your life, or you settle for what is and live in your excuses. So you know why I would give up? You know what I'm deeply afraid of? I've got 2. I've got a short-term fear and a long-term fear. My short-term fear is of disappointing people. My biggest short-term in-the-moment fear is disappointing people. That I would show up to an event and let people down, that I wouldn't give them value, that people would come and waste their time, spend their money, and I didn't give them value. I'm deeply afraid of it, and still am. I put pressure on these videos. I want these videos to be great. Every time I get in front of this camera and start making a video, I put pressure on myself that this needs to be the best video that I've ever done. I want to not disappoint you guys every single time. And there's this little pause, hesitation before filming, and I'll spend a couple minutes procrastinating because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of disappointing you and making a crappy video. I'll procrastinate, and then I'll do it. And I'll feel great doing it. But my biggest short-term fear is disappointing people. My biggest long-term fear is of regret. Is that I won't live my life. Is that I'll look back and say I could have done more. I should have pushed harder. Because you rarely regret the things that you did. It's the things that you didn't do. The things you were too afraid to do. The actions not taken. That's what you normally regret. And so my biggest short-term fear is disappointing people. My biggest long-term fear is fear of regret. And those things, they fight each other. Right? They fight each other, because if I'm afraid of disappointing somebody, I'm not going to take the action that I should be taking, and then I'm going to regret it later on. And so I try to use that fear of potential regret to push me into action. To say, if I don't make videos today, if I don't do that speech, if I don't get up and make that presentation, if I don't do the thing that I'm afraid to do because of disappointing people potentially, then I'll regret it. And I'll put the pressure like, this is the video. This video right here, this is the video that's gonna blow up everything. That'll change the whole game for me. And if I don't record it because I'm afraid of disappointing somebody, I'm gonna regret that my whole life. And I make it so painful for myself that then I have to act. And that pain pushes me into action and out of procrastination mode. So if that's you, if you're afraid to take action, if you're thinking about giving up, I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is what I call the pillow test. The pillow test is this. Before you sleep tonight, before you put your head on the pillow, this is gonna be you tonight. You're having great dreams. You made amazing progress. You're building an amazing world. You love your life, right? Before you do that tonight, before you put your head on the pillow, you have to do something that will make you proud. That's what I tell myself every day. Today, before I go to bed, I need to do something. Before I hit my pillow, I need to do something that makes me feel proud of myself. And this is something that only you can judge. You might get some small victory and post it on Instagram and get a bunch of adoration and congratulations, but do you feel great about it? Because that's all that matters. How do you feel about yourself is the entire game. Did you do something, even if it doesn't work out, even if you don't get results, it didn't work. Are you proud of yourself for trying? That's what I want. Every single day, you do the pillow test. Before you lie down, before you go to sleep, before the head hits the pillow, are you proud of the effort that you put in? Step number 2 is, what will you regret? What will you regret when you're 95 years old, when you're, at the end of your life, it's over? What will you look back and say, I wish I did this. I wish. Start your sentence with I wish. I wish I what? When you're 95 years old. And feel the pain and the heaviness of that. that you could have done something, that you were great, you're Michael Jordan level talent at something, but you didn't do it because you were afraid. What is that thing? And now the great thing is you still have a chance. You still have an opportunity. You're not 95. You're not at the end, right? You can still do something and take action on it. If you can fast forward that much and actually feel the pain, it'll give you the strength, confidence, motivation to actually go off and do the thing. I hate regret. I want to live my life with as few regrets as possible. And that means standing up to my fears and your fears and the things that are holding you back from taking action. And step number 3 is commit to someone immediately. Commit to someone immediately. As soon as you get an idea, you have this bold vision for yourself. I believe that the ideas that come to you when you're feeling bold, confident, powerful, unstoppable are actually the right ones for you, and then your head talks you down from doing them. Your head plays small. Your head only understands the world that currently exists, so it bases decisions based off of logic, and then you don't do the thing. As soon as you come up with that idea, commit to somebody else. You have to go then do it, because you may let yourself down, but you won't let somebody else down. When you say, I'm going to show up to that gym and be there, I'm going to go and do that workshop with you, we're going to book that ticket and go see that event. You may not show up if it's only you, but you don't want to let somebody else down. And so use that to your advantage. The next time you come up with an idea, commit to somebody immediately. Maybe it's for tomorrow, next week, or next month, whatever, but you're committing to them so that you have to follow through.
Rule number 7, be patient.
Entrepreneurs generally don't have a lot of patience, and that's actually a good thing. We want things now. We want to hustle hard. We want to see the results of our labor paying off. We want to see, change happening. We have a big vision. We know it can work, and we want it to happen right now. And that's amazing. I want you to hold on to it. And at the same time, I want you to have incredible patience, because what ends up happening is entrepreneurs often quit too soon. You had the right idea, you had the right vision, you even had the right execution starting it up, but you just quit. You thought it was going to happen in 3 months, where it's actually going to happen in 3 years. For what you're doing every single day, you need to be applying yourself and close off every other opportunity for 4 years, and then you'll be successful. 4 years ago on my YouTube channel, I had 7,000-ish subscribers. 4 years ago. How did I get here with 1.2 million? By making videos every single day. Every single day. We haven't missed a day in 4 years, and in the past 2 or 3 years it's been 3 times a day, or at least 2 times a day. Just grinding it out. And in those little micro moments, in those micro videos, it's super impatience, right? It's like this video has to deliver, this video now has to deliver, this next one, this one right here has to deliver. There's a lot of impatience to make things happen, and it's knowing that this is going to take me years to get to where I want to go. And so many of you watching could have had more talent than I did. My first videos were not very good. I was not natural in front of the camera. It took a lot of effort, a lot of patience, a lot of doing a video over and over and over and over and over and over again. An entire day making one video, just being in front of the camera, and it still sucked. A lot of you are starting from a place that's way better than me. I had 0 editing skills, 0 knowledge about lighting and technique and all of that stuff. I sucked, I had nothing. But I did it for 4 years, and here we are. And I'm gonna do it again. For those of you who are following my journey, who say, well, now I'm already big, I have 1.2 million subscribers, you're not a small YouTuber anymore, come follow me on Instagram. I've got 8,000 followers now, 8,000 something. I started taking it seriously about a month ago, had 6,000 followers. We've grown. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put in work on Instagram, do 3 posts every single day for 4 years. And I'm gonna learn the algorithm and learn the ins and outs and fix my design. And every day there's new changes that are coming out that I wasn't doing the day before, because I've learned, because I sucked. And I still suck, and I'm learning to get better. And for those of you who are already way ahead of me, for those of you who have way more talent and design and just natural skill at this stuff, who may already have 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers on Instagram, I'm coming. And it's not a race that I'm better than you and that I'm gonna get there and you won't. It's just the work. I will have the patience to do 3 posts a day for 4 years, because I know it's gonna pay off. My horizon is today. The post that I make today has to rock. I have to be proud of it. I want to show Hayden, I want to show my grandkids about the post that I'm making right now today. I want my grandkids to see this single individual video right now that I am posting.
That's the energy and passion and fire and fuel that I try to bring to every single piece of content that I make. I want it to matter. I want it to mean something to myself and to future generations. That's my intention. I can't always bring that out. I don't always execute, but that's the intention every single time in creating anything that I do. It has to mean something, has to matter. And then I'm gonna do that for 4 years, 3 times a day. And that's how I'll win. And that's how you can win. I'm trying to show this to you not to impress you, but to impress upon you that you probably already have more skills than I do, and that you can do this too. You're just giving up too soon. I want to tell you that your mission is important. I want to tell you that your idea is brilliant, that you are a genius, that you can make this happen, that you don't need to sit on your couch and watch somebody else make millions of dollars off of your idea. You're just not putting in enough consistent work. You start and you stop and you start and you stop and you start and you stop, and it's not consistent. Where if you just did the thing every day for 4 years, you will win. And so that's why it's so important that you love the process and not just the result, that you are doing this because you love the actual work, not just hitting the 1 million subscribers or the 1 million revenue or whatever the thing is that you're chasing, whatever the goal. The goals are great to give some extra motivation, but the drive comes from the work, the meaning, the actual process. I like making videos. I like now making Instagram posts, right? You have to find a thing that you love to do and then shut off the part of you that is so impatient that you need immediate results. Shut off the judgments from your friends and your family who say, what are you doing? You've been doing this for 6 months and it hasn't worked out yet. Yeah, I know, because I'm on a 4 or 5 year plan. I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. I'm gonna keep getting better. I'm gonna keep improving. I'm gonna keep posting. I'm gonna keep creating. I'm gonna keep pushing for 4 or 5 years, and then I will win. And all of the success comes at the last part. All of the learning and the momentum and the traction starts now, but it feels so small. It feels so intangible. It feels so little. But if you keep doing it, you will see massive growth in year 3. In year 4, in year 5, and it'll be so unstoppable because it'll be like this huge avalanche that just keeps building and building and building upon all the work that you put in. And so it's great to have the impatience. Your impatience should be on a daily basis. The impatience should be driving you consistently forward to make whatever you do today, make it awesome. And you need to have insane patience to know that this is not going to happen in 3 months or 6 months or in a year, to have a longer horizon, to think, I will do this for 4 or 5 years and then I will win. If you take that approach, I guarantee you that you will win, and I'm so fighting for you to win. I so badly want to see you win. I so know that you can win, and I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped for 4 years from now to see a handful of you say, I listened to that message, I applied it, and I won. So pumped for 4 years from now. Please, you be that person. Be consistent, be patient. Your mission is important. You are a genius. Your ideas will work out. Be consistent.
Rule number 8, live your truth.
Most people aren't happy in life because they're living somebody else's truth. You're not living your truth, you're living somebody else's version of it. Your parents, your family, your culture, your society, you're living somebody else's version of it. And so you're never happy because you never explored it. You never picked at it. You never found out what you could be. And you settled for something less than what you're capable of. You know you're capable of more. You may not know what the thing is that you should be doing, but you know it's not this thing right in front of you. I can't tell you how many people I've met on this tour who have that story to share. I had a woman whose father told her that women should not be doing any kind of entrepreneurial ventures, that women are meant to be teachers. And so she spent 15 years being a teacher before having the courage to jump off and start her own business. And now she has a multi-million-dollar construction business. I had a girl come up in Albuquerque, where I am right now, who studied for years to be an accountant. Why? Because her mom was an accountant. And so her mom made her go study to become an accountant. And she didn't know what she wanted to do. So she said, okay, great. Yeah, I'll be an accountant. She just graduated and realized, I don't want to be an accountant. This isn't for me. It's easy. It's the path that my parents took. Like, it's great for me to get into it. I can get easy money. You know, my mom said, I'll like it when the money starts coming in, but money's coming in and I don't like it. I want to do something else. I know I'm meant for something greater. And so she told her mom, I don't want to do this. I want to learn how to be a management consultant, and I'm going to go back to school. That takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of courage. Most people do not have that courage. Most people do not have the courage to stand up to their parents and say, I don't want this life. It doesn't mean you have to hate them. You have to attack them. You have to tell them they're wrong. This is for you. You don't want that life. Most people never have that courage. And the story that comes to mind for me is Accio Morita. and use this as motivation, as wisdom. If you are trying to battle your parents or your culture, your friends, or your society, remember Akio Morita. He started Sony. Now he came from 11 or 12 generations of sake brewers, Japanese background. The Japanese culture is super family oriented, and the oldest always takes over the family business. The oldest has to follow in line with what the family was doing, and so he was expected to take over the sake business. And it's not just one generation, you're talking 11 or 12 generations in a Japanese society. And he said, I don't want to do this. I want to start my own business, a technology company, at a time when Japan was known for super low quality products. This is the man who put Japan on the map for high quality products. That products coming out of Japan meant something, was a stamp of quality because of Akio Morita. And he went on to build one of the most successful brands in the world, Sony. But it starts with having the courage to say, that's not my life, that's not my truth, that's your truth. And it's out of love. Your parents love you, your friends love you, your society, your community, they love you. It's not out of hate. It's very few parents who say, do this because you're gonna suffer. You know, it's out of love. They just have a different version of it. Their world is different. They don't understand the world that you're growing up in. And so you have to have the courage to go off and start your truth. The challenging part though is it's uncertain. You don't know what it looks like. You haven't started. And so here's what I call the 2% difference. This is the secret to moving forward. As soon as you get an idea, you get an idea for something, trust that idea. Trust that idea that it's actually the right thing for you. Because what we typically do, you get an idea and then your brain talks you down from doing it. Your brain says, well, you're not talented enough, you haven't gone to school, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources. It talks you down from doing that big crazy thing. I believe that idea came to you for a reason and you need to trust it and go take action on it. Even though it doesn't make sense. You're trying to solve a matter of the heart with your head. You can't logically think your way through how you're going to feel about something. You can't. You can't think your way through if you're going to like sushi or not. You can't think your way through if you're going to love somebody or not. You can't. Similarly, in finding your truth, finding your passion, finding your calling, you cannot think your way through it. You have to feel it. And so the starting point is going off and doing it. And as soon as you get that idea, while you're feeling bold, while you're feeling inspired, to go off and take some kind of action. I call it the 2% difference. Don't worry about trying to get to 100%. Don't worry about planning and strategizing and figuring it out and thinking. That's what most of us do. You get an idea, you think, you start thinking, right? You plan. How do I get to that 100%? No, you've lost because you're going to wake up tomorrow a different person, because you're going to go home today, plan, and wake up tomorrow a different person and then not take action because you're scared. Because your brain will start talking you down from that crazy big idea. Your brain will talk you down from going off and living your truth. That's what's going to happen. That's what always happens. And so while you're feeling the energy and the momentum, you got to take some action. Instead of planning how to get to 100% of the way, you take action immediately on getting 2% of the way. 2%, the 2% difference. Go from 0 to 2%. If you can't take immediate momentum to getting 2% of the way, you will never get to 100%. You have an idea to make a YouTube channel. Great, go make a video right now, today. ASAP, the 2% difference. Make your first video right now with your cell phone. What most people will do is start researching, right? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to wear? What's my hair going to look like? What camera do I need to get? What phone do I need to get, right? What's my lighting going to be? What microphone? Think, and then never do. Because you're a perfectionist. You're going to perfect your way out of ever living your truth. The beginning is messy. It's supposed to be messy. Go off and get your 2% difference towards finding and living your truth. Quick example, my story. I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico right now. I was walking down a beautiful summer day last year, and I decided that I was going to take Nina to every city in North America with 1 million plus people. Every city in North America, 1 million plus people. That was my decision. Great. What's my first step? Action. The 2% difference. So it's not, here's what most people do. It's not go home and research how many cities there are. It's not go home and make a plan for how we're going to do this. There's lots of reasons why it's not going to work. Nina still had a full-time job. I had no idea how many cities there were. I had no idea what the next step was going to be. Just do something. Immediate action. And so I thought right away, 5 seconds later, here's my goal. Great. 5 seconds later, this weekend, let's hit one city. Boston. Nina had never been to Boston, so I thought Boston was the closest city to Toronto. It wasn't. Pittsburgh actually was. And on my tour, the people in Pittsburgh told me, they let me know that Pittsburgh is closer. But it doesn't matter. This weekend, we're going to go to Boston. It was a Wednesday that I decided, and on Friday night, we were leaving for Boston. Boom, I hit 2%. Just 50 cities, we're going to hit one this weekend. We're going to get 2% of the way done. On the way back from Boston, we decided to do this tour that I'm on right now. And now we're going to hit 50% of the cities on my list. Momentum. That's the thing that's missing, momentum, because you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to fully understand your truth, but you can't think your way through your truth. You have to experience it and feel it. And the starting point is a 2% difference. So take whatever idea that you have and train yourself. I want to burn this into your nervous system. This is one of the most important things you can do of all time. As soon as you get an idea, action, idea, action, idea, action. The more you can shortcut that window, instead of taking a week to take action or a day to take action, immediate, 5 seconds, idea, boom, some kind of 2% action, and expect it not to be perfect, expect it not to be the best plan. My plan was wrong, right? Pittsburgh was closer. In my head, I thought it was Boston. We went down the wrong path, but the momentum is what matters. And now we're 50% of the way. And now I'm gonna close that gap and get the rest of it. The 2% difference, go find your truth.
Rule number 9, the last one before our very special bonus clip, take your shot.
When I was 20 years old, I missed my shot because I was scared and I vowed never to do it again. I was in Paris, I was on vacation, I was in university, and I'm sitting here with my map outside the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, and a girl comes up and asks me for directions. But she was a French girl. And it didn't twig until later that why would a French girl be asking me for directions in English? Didn't really make sense, right? And then I thought, you know what? I should ask her out. I should see what she's doing tonight. I should take her to, ask her out for coffee or dinner or something, see what she's up to. But I was afraid. I was afraid to do it. I was afraid to do it, and I let her walk away because really I was afraid of rejection. And as she's walking away, the Notre Dame is on a river, and I'm on one side of the river, and she crosses over to the other side of the river. And I was so upset at myself. I was so upset that I didn't take my shot. I was so upset that I didn't try. At least try. And what I did was I ended up taking a picture. And as I took the picture, she actually walked behind one of the market stalls, and I didn't actually get her picture. It's fine. So I had this beautiful picture of this French, riverside. And what I did when I got home, I was still upset about it. So I blew the picture up and I put it on my wall. And I was actually trying to find the picture to show you guys, but I couldn't find it anywhere in my files. I blew it up though, and I put it on my wall. So I'm at university, I blow it up and put it on my wall. Everybody who walks in asks me about the picture. And it just looks like a nice, beautiful French scene. But I didn't tell anybody what it really represented to me, why it was really so important. And I looked at that picture every day because the next time that I had to take my shot, I wanted to go out and do it. I didn't want to be afraid. I wanted to conquer my fear and say yes. And this served me really well a year or so later when I had to make the really tough decision, do I take this job that I always wanted? I had these high-paying job opportunities, $80,000 to $100,000 starting salary with the companies that I really wanted to go at, or continue with my startup that was failing, that was making $300 a month. The logical, practical, safe, easy thing to do would have been to take the job. It's what I thought I always wanted. It's what my friends wanted. It's what you're supposed to do coming out of university. I didn't want to live with the regret of not knowing what happened with my business. And looking at that picture daily reminded me to take my shot the next time it comes around. And so I gave myself a year to say, I'm gonna push off those jobs. They'll still be there in a year. Even if it's not those jobs, it's some other job. I'm gonna give this a shot. I can deal with the failure. I can deal with the rejection. I can deal with it not working out. Even though that's a really kind of short-term, intense pain, what I can't deal with is the regret of not knowing. Because that's not some short-term minimal pain, that's forever. If I chose not to focus on my business and I took that job, I would forever look back on that moment and think, what if? What if I just tried a little bit harder? What if I gave it a little bit more? Yeah, but it wasn't working, I wasn't getting results, but what if I gave it a little bit more? I did not want to live with that regret. And I'm sure you've had moments in your life too when you didn't take the shot. When you had an opportunity right in front of you and you didn't go for it. Like Eminem says, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, would you take it? And that picture on the wall helped me take my shot. And I hope sincerely that the next time you get your chance at something, that you don't shrink down, that you don't say no out of fear, that you don't say no because you find some practical reason why you can't do it, that you take your shot. And if you've had those moments that you regret where you wanted to take your shot and you didn't, give yourself a visual reminder like I did in my room to say, this is not happening again. Next time, I'm gonna take my shot. I hope you take yours. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? The science says that when you just watch a video, you get motivated, you get inspired, you have a 35% chance of following through on your goals. 35%, that's not enough. That's not enough just to get motivated. Believe Nation, we're here, you're here. Today matters, you're an action taker. When you commit to a plan of action of when and how you're gonna follow through, when you write it down, you have a 91% chance of following through. And when you commit publicly to somebody else, it jumps to 95% chance. From 30-something% to 95% chance of you following through. Believe Nation, we need to make this happen. So question of the day, your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action specific for the next week. Put it down in the comments below and I'm gonna show on screen sometime next week to celebrate you.
Most entrepreneurs don't win because they're not consistent enough. It's not because you don't have talent or skills or energy. You're just not consistent enough. You're not consistent enough. Too many entrepreneurs get all pumped up and motivated and you're working like crazy and you have an amazing day. And then the next day you wake up and you're back to your normal life. And you're not consistently putting in the effort. The reason why my YouTube channel has won is because I made videos every single day for 5 years. 5 years ago plus, I had 7,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Now we're over 1.8 million, not because I'm super talented, I'm not. Go back and watch my videos, you'll see how I sucked at the beginning. Super nervous, awkward in a suit, sitting down, just terrible. But by making videos every single day, I got better. And I was able to conquer what I didn't have any natural talent in because I learned to develop the skill by beating on my craft every single day. And so this is one of the major problems for entrepreneurs. I think a lot of people could have done what I've done. I think a lot of you watching, you could have done what I've done. You have more natural talent than I do. The difference is I got up every day for 5 years and did it. And so I don't think it's that special. I think it's just putting in the effort and the hustle every single day. And that's a big reason why so many entrepreneurs don't win. You are just not consistent enough in your effort. And so I'm gonna give you the 3-step process to how to get better every single day. Step 1 is you need to have a powerful morning routine. You need a powerful morning routine that gets you set up for success. Most people hit the snooze button as their first thing in the morning. You're never gonna win. Successful people don't hit the snooze button. And then after that, some people wake up just like an accident. You wake up, you fall into your day, you look at your phone and you start responding to other people's emergencies. You need to figure out, what does an intentional morning look like for you? What is the thing that makes you feel bold, unstoppable, confident, alive every single day, and then put that into your morning routine. And the good news is, you've already felt bold at one point in your life. You felt it, it's happened to you. What happened? What led to that? And then put that into your morning routine. Most people are not doing it consistently enough. Now, for those of you who do have a morning routine and you're thinking, oh, well, that's easy to say, I have a morning routine, this point's useless for me. No, it's not, because most of you coming out of your morning routine is not consistently every day feeling on fire. There are days that you are just mailing in your morning routine. You're not approaching it with the intention that you need to. And so I had a woman come up to my workshop in a couple cities ago here on my tour. And she said part of her morning routine is to pray. And so through prayer, she gets the connection to God, and then she gets motivated for the day. Great. And I asked her, are there some days that you just mail in your prayer, you're not actually focused on it, you're thinking about something else, and you don't feel bold and unstoppable coming out of it? Like, yeah. That's actually most days. That's the problem when you set up a morning routine. You get bored of your routine. You get bored of the routine, and then you're mailing it in, and then you're not feeling the feeling that you need to coming out of it. And so if that's you, take 5, 10, 15 seconds before you start your morning routine and remind yourself of what you're doing. Remind yourself of what the intention is coming out of this morning routine. You need to finish your morning routine, whether it's a 5-minute routine or an hour and a half, I don't care, but you need to come out of your morning routine feeling bold, unstoppable, and ready to start the day. That is not happening for most of you. And if that's you, just imagine if you change that and every day you woke up and you did the thing that made you feel bold, unstoppable, and powerful, holy crap, your life would look so different 1 year from today if you did that every single morning. Step number 2 is make yourself proud today. Do something that will make yourself proud. What I try to do is I go into thinking every day, I want to make myself proud today. I want to be proud of the effort that I put in today. I want to, before I put my head on the pillow, think today meant something. Today meant something. Today mattered. I'm making these videos. I want them to matter. I may not always achieve my objective,
It may not always happen. Maybe I suck today. Maybe I'm not on my game. Maybe I'm stumbling. Maybe I don't make a video that ends up crushing it. But it's always my intention. I want to be proud of the effort that I'm putting in today. And I guarantee you, if you took that approach every day, that before I hit my head on the pillow tonight, I need to make something that I will be proud of. Again, I guarantee you, if you took that approach every day for the next year, your life will be dramatically different than where you are right now. And step number three is flip patience and impatience. Too often, we are patient with ourselves and impatient with the results. We want things to happen immediately. We want it to happen ASAP, but we're patient with ourselves. So yeah, we could take today off, or I don't have to make today important. You're patient with yourself. I deserve a break. Well, you want to flip it. You want to be impatient with yourself and patient with the results. You need to know that to get to your goal, it's going to take a lot of work, that it's not going to happen overnight. But be impatient with yourself, that today you're going to give everything you've got to move one step closer to your goal. When you flip impatience and patience, when you understand that this may take you a couple years to go off and create something amazing, but that every single day you are going to bring it and get better, again, your life will start to change.
If you want to learn the daily habits and routine you must practicing, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Not Dan Locke, not Evan Carmichael, not Tony Robbins, nobody. You wake up and you're tired and you have stuff in your eyes and you have lines on your face from the pillows